So this is called Going Baroque or Baroque by Glenda Austin, and this is number 1 in grade 1. And the thing to work on for this one is the fact that the right hand and left hand are playing different articulations. So we've got staccato in the right hand, while the left hand is playing that legato. So a good way to practice that for students is to take a scale and do the same thing. And they could swap over. Also in this piece, there's some tricky sections around bar 9 to 16 or thereabouts with hands kind of crossing over. You could take an alternate approach depending on how you want to order that between the two hands. So don't necessarily feel you must play it as written. As long as it's got the style and the dynamics and the articulation, it's going to sound great. Number 2 is by Sonny Chua, who's an Australian, and it's called Jive Turkey. Classic 12-bar blues form. So if you wanted to, again, using the notes of the blues scale, which I've written out here for you in the creative ideas for the practice notes, then instead of Sonny's melody, you could get students to do a little quick improv. Etc. So great fun piece, again, to explore some improvisation with. Number 3 is Trumpet Tune, the Purcell tune, one of my favourites when I was learning piano. And one of the things to watch out for here is that students aren't playing it like this. Have a think and see if you can work out what's wrong with this. Were you able to pick it up? Well, what was wrong is I was swinging the quavers instead of playing what's written, which for these is dotted quaver and semi-quaver beamed together. So we just want to make sure that they're not kind of feeling that lazy, that jazz feeling. It's got to be strict. And I've given you, in the notes for the teacher on this piece, some suggestions about clapping activities. So getting students to clap 4 semi-quavers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take out various groupings of them. So 1, and eventually to, which is what they should have here. So that's a great thing to look out for, and really important that you get that right for the exam. Dance of the Gnomes, great one for moving around the piano quickly. But I won't go into that one now. Number 5 adds a bit of a Latin theme to it. We've got this. And you'll notice that some of the notes are bracketed out, which just means that for smaller hands, they can be omitted. Great fun pattern for students to learn that kind of rhythm. Da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum. Good one to have in their repertoire for future. Number 6 is called Dudes Keep Struttin' by Heather Hammond from the UK. And this is another one with a cool walking bass line. Sorry. Off again. And in the creative notes for this one, of course, it's got a left hand repeating pattern, so that means definitely students could use the D blues scale in their right hand to improvise some music over that section. Number 7 is a beautiful piece, completely contrasting to the one you just heard, by Michael Hannan. He's an Australian, and it's called Prayer. Here's how it goes. Isn't that just the most beautiful, simple tune that a student could play? It's been a resounding success in my studio and with teachers whom I've shared it with, and it's one of my favorites in the book. It's again got a left-hand pattern that repeats. So while it's not jazz, again, students could do some improvising with this one if they chose to. And I've suggested using the D Mixolydian scale, which is just a D major scale without the C sharp. And it's written out here for you. If you play the left hand as written and use any of those notes, you can have a lot of fun making up your own version of this piece. Maybe with the B flat. All right, number 8 is called Sea Bird by Christopher Norton, and it goes like this. Now you may have thought I played a wrong note there. You might have been listening for this. But no, it is a C natural, and in the case of this piece, it's in a mode. And the best way to work out what mode it's in is actually to use one of my handy references. So if you're interested in more information about modes, you can head to timtopham.com/modes, M-O-D-E-S, and grab one of my cheat sheets on that one. All right, number 9 is called A Wild Chase. Great one for moving around the piano in 6/8 time. Sorry. Off it goes again. So you're kind of crossing over hands a little bit, it's moving between the staves, and you've got that very contrasting middle section, which I've given you some more creative ideas for exploring there. Now if I play the first 4 chords of this one, if you don't know the title, you'll probably guess it. I'm playing it probably a little bit faster than you might expect for a grade 1, but you get the idea. The ending is a little bit challenging. You've got an arpeggiated section, so that will need a little bit of work, but otherwise a really fun tune for students. And make sure they check out the Barber of Seville, or was it called the Rabbit of Seville, which is on YouTube. It's the Bugs Bunny cartoon. It's really great fun to watch. Number 11 is Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings, one of his themes from the movies, and is an absolute winner for students. They all love this, and parents quite like listening to it as well. And this is a great one for students to work on balance and phrasing. Even though it's not a sort of classical or traditional piece of music, we certainly want at the end of that first phrase a nice sort of tapering off. And so this is a great one for students to work on just right hand to make sure that's really balanced, and then bringing in the left hand as they get more confident. And then the last one in this book goes a little bit like this. I think it'll be one that you're familiar with as well. Etc. Great fun to play and a real crowd pleaser for your recital. So that's an overview of Grade 1 Piano for Leisure Series 4. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.